Good morning again, dear brothers and sisters. How are you doing? Of course, during this time, this question is unanswerable, difficult to answer. During this pandemic COVID-19, for the question of how are you? So, brothers and sisters, it is my custom something like to ask a question before my reflection. So now let me ask you a question to put in your mind, to consider it, to think of it. So my question here is, would you obey an order or command which is good for yourself, others, and society? That order or command coming from your leaders or anyone in higher position and your parents. Let me repeat my question. Would you obey an order or command which is good for yourself, for others, and the society, coming from your leaders or anyone in higher position and your parents? This is my question for you today to think about it. So now let me go on to my reflection for today. My reflection focuses on 2 points. First point is taken from an order for Simon Peter coming from Jesus. The order coming from Jesus for Simon Peter. So Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Put out into deep water and lower your nets for a catch." This is an order from Jesus for Peter. Because I said this is an order or command, because Peter replied to Jesus by saying, "We tried the whole night, but at your command, Master, I will lower the nets." In fact, Peter did not want to do it, but it is good that he obeyed Jesus' order or command. In fact, that order is good for Peter himself and others with him at the sea for catching fish. What if he did not listen or obey Jesus' order? Of course, all the fishermen would go home without fish if Peter did not obey Jesus' order. The result of Peter's obedience is benefit of catching huge amount of fish. Here I regard Jesus as a leader who orders Peter to do only good things for himself and for others. This is also a reminder for us, my dear brothers and sisters. The reminder from Jesus is that the leaders of our society must order their citizens or followers to do good and morally or ethically acceptable acts only. And fortunately, in our society, we have some leaders who order us to do morally or ethically unacceptable acts for ourselves, others, and for society. Even our parents, who are our closest leaders, order us to perform morally or ethically unacceptable behaviors or acts. It is so sad. According to some news I read before, There were some parents behind the online child sexual abuse. In other words, parents who are our closest leaders are ordering us to act morally or ethically unacceptable behaviors which are not good for ourselves, for others, for society as well. I heard that there was a mother in a village who forced her very young daughter to be concubine or mistress of some rich guys in a city, although she did not want to. Finally, the daughter obeyed her mother's order because she was slapped due to her disobedience towards her mother's order or command. The result of being a concubine or mistress in a city is that she got HIV. Now she is fighting against it. So sad. So my dear leaders, in politics, economics, or religion, and also our parents, let us stop ordering our citizens, followers, and children to act morally or ethically unacceptable. My dear friends, children, let us not obey an order which is morally or ethically unacceptable for ourselves, others, and society. I repeat so many times, for ourselves, for others, and society. But all of us are leaders. All of us are leaders. Don't blame the leaders only that who are in higher position than us. All of us are leaders in a particular way, in our own way, in our family, in our community. So all of us, let us try to be good leaders. So now let me go to my second point for today. It is self-acceptance. It is taken from the words of Peter towards Jesus. Because in the gospel today, Simon Peter said to Jesus, "Depart from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man." It's a really good point for us to reflect it, to take it, the words of Peter, to take into our life. It's really difficult to accept ourselves as sinful people. It is very difficult to acknowledge our failures, our sinfulness before God and others. So how do we acknowledge our sinfulness before God and others? It is that we have to do like Peter, who left everything behind and followed Jesus finally. So dear brothers and sisters, let us accept ourselves that we are sinful. To be free from being sinful is following or obeying Jesus' commands or orders, which are good for ourselves, others, and society. If we are not morally or ethically, if we are not acting in moral or ethical manners, how much more we are foolish. Because in the first reading, St. Paul said to the Corinthians, the wisdom of this world, of the people, is foolishness in the eyes of God. So Let us not be more foolish. Let us not be let us not be a kind of people. Let us not be people that we act morally or ethically unacceptable. Let us change ourselves like Peter, dear brothers and sisters. Of course, it is difficult to follow, to obey God's commands anyhow, anyway. If we believe in God, we can change ourselves. God bless us all, my dear brothers and sisters.